Hi, I'm Bob and you're in the United States of analog. Now you may have been wondering about the set that I use for my videos. Well, it's kind of a set and it's kind of not. It's actually a working bar. It's called a Jazz Kissa. What's a Jazz Kissa? Well, wouldn't you like to know? I'm going to tell you in just a second, but I built it with the help of some friends over the course of 3 months, and it's finally finished. And I wanted to show it to you, and we're going to look at some cool gear along the way. So gearheads, don't tune out. I've got some cool gear to show you in here right now on the United States of Analog. So this journey started for me about 2 years ago when my oldest son, Caden, got me this magazine. It's called Brutus. It's a Japanese magazine he picked up in a local Japanese bookstore, and he thought I might like it because it had a drawing of a dude on the cover that was sitting at a bar listening to vinyl. And as I dug into Brutus, this particular edition, come to find that it's all about jazz Kissas in the Tokyo area, all the different ones. Great pictures, the music that they play. A Kissa, I believe, when you translate it, means tea house. Okay, if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me in the comments. But a jazz Kissa is more of a small bar that plays vinyl and serves up Japanese whiskeys. And I thought, well, that's cool. I had that idea in the back of my head for a couple of years. And finally, I had enough of my old office, which I'm going to show you right now, right here. Yeah, this is what it looked like. It was a hodgepodge of books and magazines and work and computers and audio equipment and vinyl and CDs, and this is the home office I lived in for quite a while, and I finally had enough about 3 months ago, and I decided to build a Jazz Kissa of my own. It started with deconstructing the room. Then I had to paint the room and the ceilings. Then I had to build some shelving. That was the next step. I decided to go with Kallax, and I'm glad I did because as inexpensive as it is, when done right and secured to the wall, it can be quite sturdy. Now I have some heavy gear up here. You can see I have some Klipsch 3rd generation up here. So these Kallax units are bolted together. They are attached to the wall securely. And where I needed extra reinforcement, I just put one unit on top of another to give it a kind of double thickness. And I custom cut some of the cubbies in the Kallax. It was a $600, $700 solution to a problem. And the craftsman that built this bar, Gabe Nieto, he told me if I had built those cabinets in actual wood, it would have cost me like 10 grand. So I'm glad I went with the $700-800 option than the 10 grand option, because at the end of the day, whoever buys this house from me down the road is probably not going to want a Jazz Kissa and will probably remove it all. So I consider it to be somewhat disposable. So the bar unit itself in the middle of the room was conceived by my son Caden, who picked up on the strong vertical and horizontal lines of a lot of the Jazz Kissas in Tokyo, and we passed those ideas on to Gabe Nieto, who built the bar by hand, and it truly is one of a kind and spectacular. Big horn speakers were featured in a lot of the Jazz Kissas I looked at, and so I had some Heresy 3s and I thought this would be a great application. This is the MHA 100 headphone amplifier from Macintosh, but it also contains a 50 watt per channel speaker amplifier. And it has meters. Who doesn't love meters? And speaking of meters, I found this piece of kit thanks to Randy the Cheap Audio Man. It's called the Douk One Little Bear. It's a switcher. It's a speaker switcher, an amp switcher with VU meters, and it's reasonably priced, easy to get, and it works fabulous. So I'm able to use any amp with any speakers that I have in the room. 2 amps, 2 sets of speakers, good to go. These of course are LS50 Metas. I can swap these out with other smaller bookshelf speakers if I like, but the Heresy's above, those are there to stay. This is my beloved Marantz 2245. It's really not connected to anything right now. It's a shame that it's not, but I like looking at the pretty lights, and it sits atop the Kallax unit. When I want that pure tube sound in here, here's a Jolita. I've had this for about 20 years, still kicks ass. I love it. This is United States of Analog, but when I want to go digital, I've got the WIIM Mini Streamer and the Gishelli Labs J2 DAC. I can play CDs in here, stream. I've got all the formats covered. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The turntable. Would it be a jazz Kissa without a turntable? Here's a 50th edition, 50th anniversary model of the Technics 1200 Mark 7, I believe, in black with the gold tone arm, fitted with an Ortofon blue right now, but I have an assortment of cartridges I can put on here. I love the Nagaoaka MP110 for that punchy rock and roll sound. The blue gives me that kind of cleaner sound. And then when I want something in between, I've got the Sumiko with a Moonstone stylus. Well, I have a couple of modest phono preamps, an IEMA with the blue tubes there. I've got the model number below, don't remember it offhand. I don't know if the tubes do much, but they sure look pretty. And a shit Magni. And that's what I use most of the time in here. Again, modest, but they get the job done. Oh yeah. Well, that's it. This is my jazz Kissa at home. I built it with the help of some friends, and all inspired by this magazine, Brutus. Oh, and by the way, it has a name. It's called Strummer, the bar. That's right, I named it after the late great Joe Strummer of The Clash. You may have noticed the Fender Joe Strummer edition guitar hanging on the wall in the Shepard Fairey lithograph. Here's the membership card. Hey, maybe you'll get one, I don't know. We'll have to work that out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you do something like this? Was it crazy? Am I going to regret it? Or is it a place that you'd like to come and hang? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what equipment you'd like to see me put in here. We'll see you next time on the United States of Analog. Well, here's a little mod I'm kind of proud of. I did it myself, patting myself on the back. I drilled into the Calax and put these little metal pins I got from Home Depot to hold the vinyl in place safely so they won't fall on the floor, because you've got to display your vinyl, right? Hey, you've got to have some cool Japanese figures. Well, here are my bouncers to my bar. These are, I think they're called Elic. They're little robots that my friend Michael gave to me. He thought they would add to the vibe of the room, and he was right. Sometimes we set these on the bar, let them listen to the music. They fight, they play, and they act crazy. But right now, just checking us out.